If you've been following my video series, you'll notice I have an unusual situation on this bathroom addition. And let's go back to the beginning here. We acquired some land in rural Mississippi. No electricity, no water, no nothing. It's about an hour and 15-minute drive from my house. And I really wanted to go out there and build a cabin. But then I realized I was going to be spending, 2.5, 3 hours in my truck every day, loading and unloading and driving. And I don't have enough life left to get this thing built. So I'm going the teeny house route on a trailer. This trailer was offered to me for free, and I saw it was galvanized. I thought it was a super deal, and it wasn't the best deal. I should have got a heavier trailer because I had to spend a lot of time beefing it up to build on it, but that's done. Teeny homes on trailers are 8.5 feet wide, which kind of limits the floor plan, and just wanted something a little roomier. And I really like the way most campers now have slide outs, because it just makes them seem so much bigger. But they come from the factory leaking water pretty much, and if they can't get them right at the factory, there's no way I could get it right building in my home. I'm not that skill level. So I just decided to build the bathroom as a separate structure to be bolted on. This would be incredibly inconvenient for a camper to have to haul a separate trailer with the bathroom. But for me, it's going to be moved out there and parked, and I don't ever intend to move it again. My kids might, but I won't. So if I have to spend a half a day or a day unbolting and loading this bathroom on a trailer and then moving it separately and bolting it back on, that's nothing compared to building it in place out there. So I've had a lot of questions from the viewers on how this is going to work, and from my family and from myself. So this video addresses removing and reinstalling the bathroom. And this first little bit is a lot of videos that you've probably already seen, so no problem with jumping ahead. But those who haven't seen it, they kind of need to know what's going on. Now, we have one advantage over most teeny home builders is we don't intend to live here. So this is like a weekend getaway. So I don't need washers and dryers. I don't need all the storage for winter clothes in the summer and summer clothes in the winter, and food, etc., etc. This is a much simpler build, but still 8.5 foot wide. Just so it was a little cramped. So this is where we are. We have a bathroom addition, maybe one of a kind. Don't know. So if you've been waiting to see me take it off, here we go. I need to pull the bathroom addition away from the trailer a couple of inches so I can get the Tyvek correct and some flashing correct and a guide to put the bathroom back where it goes. And to do that, if I just loosen the bolts where it's bolted and screw down on the jacks, it would probably lean out. But if the jacks were to tumble over, they're kind of, they're not secure side to side, and it were to fall, I'm pretty sure it would bend the trailer frame badly. So I'm gonna add some supports to keep it from falling, and these will probably be the supports I use to install it when we get to where we're gonna go, whenever we get there. So this is what we have on the inside, and this is what we have on the outside. 2 eye bolts. I'm gonna put 2 more up top on the trailer part, and I'm gonna put it come along here, and hopefully it'll let us have a controlled descent and later on a controlled ascent. Okay, for like an hour ago, this was a remnants of a fuel tank, and I have cut some 4-inch rips out of it, and we're going to use these to make a slideway for reinstalling the bathroom addition, so that when I crank it up, it's not wood on wood, it'll be wood on aluminum. So we got the bathroom loose from the trailer. I'm not really sure what's holding it up. I think just these sticks and these jacks out here, because it's kind of wobbly, and it is it moves around. So I got my first piece of aluminum slid, so it's going to be between the bathroom wall and the trailer wall, and the purpose of this is so that when we're jacking this thing up
and everything's finished and the metal's on it and all that, it'll have a nice smooth surface to slide on, whether we're using the come-alongs or floor jacks or bottle jacks. This will be a guide, and I'm gonna put an angle iron right here to make sure it goes up straight. So I'm gonna slide the aluminum in now, get it screwed, then we're gonna tighten it back up to where it was an hour ago, and I'm gonna put some sort of guides on it. But this is going pretty good. Okay, the aluminum runner is screwed all the way to the top on both sides. Both sides. So I'm gonna go up top and fix the sheeting or the plastic a little bit, and then I gotta jack it back up and see if I can't get those get it back where it was. So this is my plan. I've got the aluminum flat bar between this surface and this surface, so it'll slide without getting in a bind. And then I'm screwing this angle to keep it straight left or right. The come-alongs, I don't know if they're going to do all the lifting, but they'll at least keep it snug up to the main trailer, and I'm sure we'll have some jacks involved. So pretty confident we'll be able to take it off and get it back into position, get the bolts back in there, and I'll have to figure out a way to get some bolts at the tip top in addition to having a pier under these corners. I think it's a good compromise angle. If I were to put this eye here, I'd be lifting vertically. It would be easier to crank, but I have the problem of maybe it wanting to tip over backwards. If I put this too far out that way, it keeps it snugger, but then you have to crank harder. A harder pull on the eye bolts. So I think I got a pretty good compromise on this.
I put a pair of bolts at the top of the bathroom wall. They go through the band that holds up the loft, and on the inside of the wall stud I have a metal plate and a nut, and I'm gonna have to weld that because when we disassemble the tiny home, there'll be no way to get to that nut. It has to stay on the plate, and the plate has to be fastened to the wall. That's easy to do. Drilling the hole was not easy, but making the plate, that's easy.
So that's the nut on the interior stud of the bathroom, and it's welded to a plate, and the plate's kind of tacked up there with a little roofing nail so it won't fall. I'm going to take the bolt out, and this is the head of the bolt. So I've got two here for the top, and then the 4 bolts that are underneath the trailer, and that should hold it up, I think, until I can get jacks on the outside edges.
So if you've been following the build, you've seen all that video before, but this week I'm going to actually take the bathroom off of the tiny home. I need to do this because I don't know how much weight I've added to the trailer frame, or on top of the trailer frame, or actually added to the trailer frame also. So I want to get the bathroom completely free, and now that the siding's 100% and all the windows and doors are in, I want to take a look at how the trailer sits off the blocks with the weight on, with the tires on. And I can't do that with the bathroom hanging off the side. I can't even lower it with the bathroom hanging off the side without breaking something. So found a big chunk of wood here. I'm cutting it in half. I'm gonna make 2 skids. I want the bathroom to set on the ground on some temporary wood skids, so I can drag it, I can pry on it, I can put jacks under it without prying on the siding or dragging the siding or bending anything. So these are sacrificial basically, and they'll come off once the teeny home is set and the bathroom is hung. So got this big old board, ripped it in half, put some bevels on the corners so it would drag on the ground easily, because I got a feeling that's going to happen. And I bolted a pair of 2x6s to the sides of the galvanized frames that hold up the bathroom. And the frames are tapered, but the 2x6s are straight, so they're parallel with the ground. And then I put some clips on this. These basically turn into 4x4s. Put some clips on them and clipped them to the 2x6s, and so now I have a sturdy platform when the thing comes down and sits on the ground, and I can do whatever I want to it. I don't have to worry about bending the steel or messing up the sheet metal or anything like that. This is just an aid to dragging the thing around. Step 1 was to back these 2 bolts out, which hold the top
of the bathroom tight to the wall. Step 2 was to take out the 4 bolts that hold this steel frame, which holds up the bathroom to the trailer frame. So right now it is supported on this jack, that jack, the big jack, which will hold 10 times the weight if it's balanced. And that little jack over there, I got to get it out. And I think, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty intimidating. I think I'm gonna lower the big jack so it leans out a little bit, and then I will lower the come-alongs one side at a time, and then I'll do that back and forth. We'll see. I wish I could. Oh, I can set up a camera and you can watch me get killed. All right, I changed my mind. I'm gonna lower the tiny home side first. I'm gonna keep it leaning against the structure. I think it'll be more stable that way. So I got 2 jacks I need to get some weight off of, and then we'll try to crank down on the come-alongs and see what happens. Well, there wasn't much weight on that.
Lowering the bathroom to the ground went pretty well, except for the 2 things that didn't go so well. I had a conflict with the flashing up top, and I didn't notice it. Because I couldn't see that inside trim that goes in the inside corner anymore. It's all covered up, but the eave flashing is over that, and when it was trying to come down, it got stuck. So I went up with the tin snips and cut about 1 foot off the end of that eave flashing. Luckily, that's one of the types of flashing I have some more of, so I'll have to put a piece in there once the bathroom is installed for the last time.
I've got a conflict. The wall cap flashing is on top of the crap. Okay, I got to get up there with some snips, I guess. Do some cutting. Something's got to give.
And the second problem I had, I probably could have realized this if I'd thought about it a little more in the beginning. The skids that I put under, the jack is on the outside 4x4, the one closest to the outside wall. But it's not the center of gravity. The center of gravity is on the outside of even that board. So as the weight was transferred to the jack, the bathroom wanted to tump over. So I ended up having to put some temporary jacks, lift it up, and put some temporary timbers under the temporary 2x6s and to the outside of the 4x4 so I can move my jack back and get it closer to the center of gravity. Now when I go to do it the next time, my son and I have actually slid that temporary frame further to the right, so that won't be a problem, and the flashing won't be a problem because I've addressed that. So yeah, I just couldn't figure out what was going on and why it wouldn't go down, and it's because it's trying to tump over.
Something bad is about to happen.
So here you can see the 2x6s that are sticking out, and they're under the 2x6 bolted to the steel frame, and now I have the jack under them. So it's still not balanced perfectly, but it's so much better than it was before. It's manageable now. So now I'm having to deal with the fact that the big hydraulic jack, the floor jack, is all the way down, but the structure can't touch the ground yet. So I'm putting some dunnage, some scrap boards to hold up the bathroom so I can get the jack out, or I can get the weight off of the jack. I think when I'm doing this in real life, I'll have a helper or two, and I think we can just pry up one side at a time with a pry bar and get the jack out. But I'm by myself, so I had to just make a little platform to set the bathroom on, and now the jack is completely free, and the bathroom is sitting on the ground, and it's not tied to the trailer.
Okay, the bathroom's sitting on the ground, sitting on those boards I bolted to it. There's no weight on the jack anymore. I'm gonna call it a super success. I did bend the sheet metal a little bit, but I can straighten the one, and I got some more for the replace that one. I think when I go to put it back, I'll just take the roof all the way off, and those that trim that goes on the top edge of the wall, just take it off. It just takes a second, and it'll make it much simpler to get it back on. I feel comfortable getting it back on now. If it takes 2 hours or 5 hours, it's still better than trying to build out there in the country with no electricity, water, no nothing. So anything I can do here. And the weight of this bathroom doesn't matter. I don't really care what it weighs. If it's too heavy to pick up by hand, so it's got to use jacks. If you're going to use jacks, it don't matter if it's 1,000 pounds or 2,000 pounds. You just got to use jacks. So I'm 100% finish out the bathroom. I'm going to lower the trailer to the ground, maybe not today, and see what the weight looks like on the trailer. I'm going to back the trailer up over here and get the bathroom out, get it in front, and get it out of this little mud hole I've been in from day one. But yeah, super stoked. It didn't go smooth as silk, but it was no big problems either. The bathroom is scooted away from the structure, and I got most of the crap cleared out the way. And I've got a jack under the front, and I picked it up enough to get the blocks. There's no more weight on these blocks. So I'm gonna get my truck over here and get it under the front and hit the jack a little bit more and try to get these out, and then set it on my truck. Get ready to pull it forward. Okay, my truck's under the ball. The jack has the weight up, so the intermediate jacks are out. So now the frame is spanning between the floor jack and the back bumper. So this is like a worst case scenario for structural. Of course, it's a static load, it's not bouncing, but when we set it down on the truck and get the jacks out the back, then the frame's gonna have a much more balanced load because the wheels are more or less in the middle. That was pleasantly uneventful. Just pulled it on out. Now my hitch is too high, which makes the trailer sag down in the back, which I believe with these kind of springs is putting more weight on the back axle than the front axle. I think if you had the leaf springs with a little adjuster thing in the middle, I think it would balance better. But this is awesome. And since I still have bounce left in the springs, I'm comfortable adding some more weight, which will be finish the wiring, which is not 10 more pounds. Insulation, which is, I don't know how many pounds, maybe 100. And the 1/4-inch paneling, which would be a few hundred pounds. So all in all, I think less than 500-600 pounds. And then I won't add any more else. I'll make the kitchen cabinets, but I'll take them out. I'll make the stairs, but I'll take them out. I'll make the covers for the wheel wells, but I'll take them out. So yeah, this is good stuff.
A couple of glamour shots here, just patting myself on the back for progress we've made in the last couple of months. Hasn't been that long. Yeah, 2 months maybe.
So with the bathroom removed, you can see what I did to facilitate reinstallation. I got a sheet of aluminum here. This is where I'm thinking I'm gonna lean the top of the wall, and I got a pretty substantial angle here to keep it from going sideways. So if I can get the little bathroom situated side to side and keep the top edge tight, it should go right up into place. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove that flashing that gave me trouble taking it off, which, you know, I should have known better. I should have seen that. Ray Charles could have seen it was gonna be a problem. I just missed it.
Some second thoughts on moving the bathroom to the front where it'd be easier to work on. I'm gonna put it right back where it was and bolt it up. We because I have a feeling this will be many months before we move it to the property. The property's not ready, the road's not done, and it's getting ready to be the middle of the summer. It gets unbearably hot around here in the summertime, so I think this thing's going to be moved next fall. So there's no reason to keep the big hole in the side of the mini home, the teeny house, and the bathroom exposed to the weather for all that time. So I'm going to spend a couple hours and bolt it back up and be done with it.
My concrete's got some slope to it, and this is the highest point. So I've touched down here with this concrete block and some dunnage. So all I have to do now is raise this side until it's level and block it, and then raise the back until it's level front to back on both sides and block that. And then I'll be level all 4 ways. And then I can think about getting the bathroom back on. Well, I guess this is a good sign. I tried to move the jack to this side to try to lift this side of the trailer up, and it lifts the whole front of the trailer up. I'm pretty rigid now as compared when this thing was built. I'm gonna have to move the jack further to the outside. So I got the jack all the way over here, and I still can't twist the trailer. It's still lifting up that side at the same time. So I don't know, dang, must be that OSB. So I'm gonna go lift up the back and try to straighten it out. I'll come back and I'm not missing a whole lot here, but I'll come back. All right, I'm level all the way around. Got blocks on the corners. I've got jack stands in the middle. Everything's level. Went without a hitch. Now, let's see if we can make the bathroom go back on without a hitch. For starters, I'm gonna need to take off 2 sheets of roofing, which is a total of 3 screws, 4 screws, 5 screws. And that corner flashing, I need to cut it back about 1 foot, and I got another piece where I can patch it. Okay, so far it's working really good, and I'm gonna put a jack on the outside because it wants to dump over. I'm gonna use my smaller jack this time, not the big jack. That was so easy. 2 little clicks on this side, 2 little clicks on the other side, 2 little strokes on the jack. Back and forth and back and forth. I did relocate the jack once, And I did put some emergency backup stacks here because I'm getting pretty high off the ground. If something were to happen, I don't want it to fall to the ground. But it just goes. I think I'm getting close enough where I need to get under there and see how the bolt holes are looking. I don't want to go too far. That took 2 hours and 10 minutes and there wasn't a single issue. It just went right up there, and if I'd had a helper, it would have gone much faster. But I'm happy as I can be. It's back on there, and it's going to remain on there for probably several months. Okay, thanks for watching. And this video is a little late because we went to Florida last week and we drove the boats. And I had a boat issue, a little overheating issue. So guess that video will be coming up soon. I got to figure out what's going on with my outboard. Anyway, thanks for watching.